Police are investigating a shooting incident which left 3 men dead and another injured in Debe last evening. This has prompted the MP of the area to call on the government to reintroduce the Community Comfort Patrol to curb the levels of crime in his constituency. Mahalia Joseph has more.
At around 8 o'clock on Thursday evening, 34-year-old Terry Edwards, 31-year-old Kevin Fuller and 42-year-old Sanjay Mahabir were at Wellington Road, Debe, close to runway 69 bar, when gunshots were fired. They were all hit. One of the men died at the scene, while the other 2 died while being taken to hospital.
We thought it was fireworks, but it was gunshot. And when I looked down, I tell my trainer and them, look at somebody on the floor like to kill somebody. That's all we see, and we run down. We was the first person before the officers, and then we see the body on the floor. And my daughter noticed the fella, and she says it's Terry.
The mother of one of the victims believes her son was killed as a form of revenge. Joanne Fuller said her son Kevin Fuller and his friend Edwards had been threatened many times following the shooting of a man 3 years ago. She said last year Fuller's girlfriend was shot several times in the hand and chest but survived. Anne-Marie Kedu, wife of Terry Edwards, does not know how she and her children will live without him.
Right now I go in HGC, go in courts. Look what come and happen with these 2 kids. Yesterday courts called me and tell me if I'm coming by tomorrow, Saturday, I don't know what will happen. They will take back the stuff.
And I said your daughter is not well?
Yes, and my daughter she have 6 stone and she gallbladder. She even have multiple cysts and she ovaries and she have her piles.
How old are the children?
So I don't know what will happen to me.
MP for Oropuch East, Dr. Moonilal, expressed shock by the shooting and said recent moves to create safe zones at Laventille, Sealods and Beetham Estate have seen crime being exported to areas like Debe, Tunapuna, Chagonas, St. Joseph, Penal and other communities, which the government has shown no resolve in protecting. He wants the Community Comfort Patrol to be reinstated.
With 91 murders in 61 days, it is clear that the government has failed the nation and we are all now living in fear. The Minister of National Security has shown himself to be both out of touch and clueless in the fight against crime. I call for the immediate reintroduction of the Community Comfort Patrol, which has brought security to suburban and rural communities in Trinidad and Tobago.
Dr. Moonilal said the loss of 3 more lives to the crime epidemic further highlights the government's lack of political will to drive the police service to protect citizens. Mahalia Joseph, C News.
Former Minister of National Security Gary Griffith says the Community Comfort Patrols helped in fighting crime a few years ago and agrees it should be reinstated. He said there are other programs which can be looked at to give people a sense of security, but they have been dismantled.
We established the Highway Patrol, the Community Comfort Patrol and the Rapid Response Unit. This was ensuring a proper lockdown of the country. At this same time, 2 years ago, over the same 45-day period when we are seeing over 68 homicides in the middle of January to the end of February, there were 20 homicides. So it shows a massive difference in dealing with national security 2 years ago when we were implementing policies that worked by ensuring high visibility. The E999 system has now been virtually shut down.
He said over $6 billion a year is being pumped into fighting crime and it seems no new programs have been implemented. Concerns were raised about the cost to maintain the program. However, Mr. Griffith says there are ways to minimize this.
Look at the concept, look at how these vehicles were critical in strategic location, and you can very well turn it into a state resource company similar to MTS. So you'll eliminate the extra payment for paying directly to security companies. But you don't just shut down the whole thing and then call it dollars and cents. If that is the case, nothing should be more important than the fundamental right of safety and security for citizens.
The political leader of the National Solidarity Assembly and the President General of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, Nirvan Maharaj, appeals to the members of Parliament to unite and assist each other in solving major issues facing our country. He also calls on citizens to demand that their elected representatives provide better representation on major issues facing our country and not simply play politics with red herrings and idiotic grandstanding meaning nothing.